This is just one of my many zinnia patches that I grow every year. And we are going to look closely or observe a zinnia, and we are going to do a beautiful artwork. It's going to start as a drawing, and then we are going to add watercolor, so it's going to become a painting. And today, we are just going to work on an enlarged version of the center. And we're going to look at the artist Georgia O'Keeffe and how she enlarged flowers. They almost became an abstraction of a flower. And if you want to see what some students before you did, here are some finished zinnia paintings.
Hello, my talented artists.
Don't forget to subscribe.
This is Georgia O'Keeffe. She was born in 1887, so over 100 years ago. Like most artists, she started by observing the world around her and trying to paint what she saw by zooming in or getting closer and closer to her subject matter. She was sort of playing with abstraction. She found beauty in simple things and painted them very large with bold colors and lots of value. Value is when you go from dark to light in a color. Let's pause the video and see if we can find different values or dark and light in this painting. Pause the video to explore value. I'm so proud of you for looking for the value. I want to talk about one more art word, and that is the word abstract. Here is an abstract painting by Georgia O'Keeffe. Why do you think this painting is considered abstract? Pause the video to discuss. When you are making your artwork, you're going to be carefully looking at a real flower and trying to draw it. You will have two important goals. The first goal is you're going to enlarge your flower. You're going to make it really big. It might not even fit on your paper. The petals might eventually go right off the page. That is the first goal. The second goal, you're going to have to wait till next week to find out the second goal. I want you to be a detective and look very carefully at the center of a flower. You can pick any one, or you can pick a few different ones. And today we are only going to draw the centers. So that's the center sort of circle-y shape. But here is the challenge. You are not allowed to draw a circle. No, you cannot draw a circle. If you draw a circle, you're out of the game and you got to start over.
Okay.
This is going to be the back of my paper. So I will write my name in this circle because this is the only side of the paper where I'm allowed to draw one circle. This is going to be my artwork side, no circles. I'm also going to write my secret code. On the back, if you want, you can start by drawing any shapes or lines that you see. In the center of a flower, look carefully. I'm going to draw three things that I observe. I observe a shape that kind of curves, almost looks like a teeny tiny banana. But it's like a little flower inside the center, and it has three of these little banana shapes attached to it. I also observe smaller. Wait a minute. Okay, I observed this shape a little smaller and it looks kind of like this. It kind of looks like a Y. And I observed this a little bigger, or it has 5, they look like petals, but they're really tiny and they're inside the flower. I'm going to show you the one that I'm looking at. So you can see that this little 5-petal flower and then this little 3-pointed shape. Let me see if I can get it out so you can observe really close up. This center has a lot of interesting little shapes. Now your eyesight might be a little bit better than mine, but when I look at the inside, the circle side of this flower, I see kind of a spiral that's made by those little orange shapes, and they look like just, again, they kind of look like a little curve, like maybe a little apple slice, and they go around to make that center shape, which kind of looks like a circle. You are going to observe the center of a flower, and you are going to use those shapes that you observe to create the center. You're not going to draw a circle, but you're going to create a circle like that one using the shapes and lines that you observe. Remember that we are thinking about how Georgia O'Keeffe enlarged all of her paintings of flowers. The flowers almost became unrecognizable. She painted some of the flowers so big they became abstract. I'm going to start by drawing my shapes to create the center. We are not drawing any petals. We're not drawing any of these big petals. We're only going to draw the center today. When you turn your paper over and you begin to draw on the front of your paper, remember our first goal. We want our flowers to be very, very big. I'm going to make my center very big because I want the petals to go right off of the paper. I am observing these little Y shapes, and if I draw them in a circle, it creates that circle shape of the center. It's not perfect, but I want to keep looking occasionally at my flower. I see a little curl here. It looks like a little petal. So I'm going to add that one little curled petal. It sort of looks like a little spiral. I'm creating a circle with my repeated shape. I'm repeating a shape over and over to create a circle, but I am not drawing a circle. No drawing a circle. Once you have repeated your shape all along the edge, look and see if you want to add anything else. I think I want to add some of those bigger shapes. They look like little flowers, and you know what? I bet they are. I decided I wanted to make my center larger. So I can draw another larger row, circular row, around my center to enlarge the whole flower. You draw the center bigger, your whole flower will be bigger. That's enough. I don't have to fill in all of those shapes. Once you've gotten, even if it's just a circle of shapes or lines around the edge, it could just be lines too. You could do something that looks kind of like this. I really want you to be a detective and observe what you see. Don't worry about what other people are doing, because in art, there's more than one solution. So now you're going to get your Sharpie. Once you've created a circle with shapes or lines, not drawn a circle, you are going to go over your lines, carefully drawing on top of these lines you've already drawn. We don't really want to see pencil lines. This is going to be a watercolor painting. So I'm going to go all the way around, go over all my drawings. You ready? So once you've covered all of the little shapes that you drew, the important thing is that you have a circular shape. So you may just have the outside. Then you need to fill it in a little bit with the same shape or one or two other shapes. So I'm just going to look and see where there are some spaces. Stay focused on your task. You have a goal today. Get your flower center drawn with repeated shapes in Sharpie by the end of today's class. That's the goal. That looks pretty good. And it does look like a circle, even though I didn't draw a circle. All right, it's your turn. I can't wait to see what you do.